Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Saba Show. We are doing the Everton vs Leeds recap. This was a 2-2 draw. I think we'll be pretty happy with this result. We probably deserved to win. We could have kicked 3 or 4 goals in this one, realistically. But it is what it is. I think we'll be happy with 4 points to start off the year. Only 2 games in. It could have easily been a trap game and we could have lost this one. But, we held up well in comparison to last year. And, last week I was a bit worried with the centre-back partnership and how that was going to deal with the pace of Leeds because they had trouble last week. And they did pretty well for the most part, apart from, the 2 mistakes. But anyway, we'll just dive right into all the analysis, really. We'll start with the first half. We'll start with the goals. The DCL penalty. Look, DCL milked the pen. But at the same time, it was pretty obvious that he was getting grabbed. So it was really a line ball call. But I think he deserved the penalty, and it was a very good finish by Dominic Calvert-Lewin as well. That's 2 goals in 2 games. And I know Fantasy Premier League owners will be very happy with that return. But look, yeah, I think he's been pretty dangerous first couple of games of the year. He's always a handful to deal with. So very good finish by him in the penalty. Look, before the game, there was a bit of grease, bit of rain. So both teams were, trying to benefit off the long range shot because it was just skidding off the turf and it could cause problem for goalkeepers. It was like that last year, I believe, at the game at Goodison between these 2 sides. So yeah, I think for the most part, that was utilised by Everton, especially in the second half. But yeah, it was just a really good shot you could opt for, and it'd be dangerous. Whereas on more dry days, it'd be a pretty, low percentage shot. With our few chances, we look pretty dangerous. Demarai Gray, very good game yesterday, whipping in crosses. I think there was like a DCL chance early in the game when it was 0-0. That, he was like a foot or 2 away from, tapping that one in, like so many last year. So it's just really refreshing to see, some creative play happening from players higher up the pitch and not relying on Luca Dean and Coleman, like we mentioned last week. Look, the Leeds goal, we're just caught off guard from a deflection. Keane needed to kill that. He didn't. He let it get out the back, and then he played Klich onside. So, yeah, pretty unfortunate. Look, Keane's had a very, very ordinary first 2 games, and he's got to go to the bench because, we can't afford those mistakes. And Godfrey, once he's back, he'll be slotting right in with, I think, Yerry Mina. So, look, we say in Aussie Rules Football, AFL, that, if you're going to go off your man, you've got to influence the play, you've got to impact the play, you can't let the ball get out the back, and that's what Keane did. So, yeah, a bit of a mare there. He'll be going right to the bench, I think. And look, Holgate may do a better job. I don't know. But look, it was better for the most part. Mina did a very good job on Bamford. He was just trying to piss him off all game, and he did a very good job. Bamford didn't really have a sniff for the entire game, except that last play where, I was on the edge of my seat. I hate those draws, like, between the 90th and 95th minute. It's not good for the heart. But, yeah, for the most part, he was just getting under his skin. They both got a yellow card. And look, if both of them got sent off, it would have had an impact for both sides, but I think more so for Leeds. Leeds dominated the ball. I think they had 74% possession, so, a bit of a characteristic from Everton's play last year, but luckily we were able to rectify that in the second half. Okay, speaking of the second half, let's move on to our thoughts from the second half. First and foremost, DCL, we love him. His header game is brilliant. But his one-on-one game is probably one of his biggest weaknesses. And look, we could have had 4 goals, 3 goals if DCL was better. Pretty much, simply put. There was one play where Iwobi had this beautiful through ball to DCL. It was open. One-on-one with Melier. And no. I think it came off his head or something. So look, those chances that are presented to DCL, he's got to take those. Because, yeah, you know, they were coming at a premium. I think in the second half we had a lot more shots, a lot more chances. But, you know, those chances you got to take. When you look back on it later in the year, when we're sitting like ninth with 10 draws or something. So, yeah. But look, that's something he needs to improve on. Even that little tap in that he did, I think it was across from Gray, and he was able to get like a foot on it, and it nearly went through Mellier's legs, but it didn't. So, yeah, chances like that, they come and go. You've got to take them. I think for a man of DCL's caliber, we know he can do it, but it's just a matter of whether he executes. And more often than not, with one-on-ones and stuff like that, he doesn't. So that's something that obviously he's got to work on. My man of the match for this game was Demarai Gray. Only his second game in the side, and he's already made a huge difference. Look, absolutely superb. The finish on his goal was just sublime. You know, left foot, I think there was a bit of hesitation there. Yeah, it was a really awkward angle for him, especially on the left. Just the composure on the shot to convert with minimal daylight was just sensational, really. And he was also probably stiff to not have an assist as well, because he created plenty of opportunities for those up front. So yeah, he's been doing very, very well. You know, he also was involved in a lot of positive play, you know, using his pace, taking the game on, really, and that, you know, helped in creating chances for us. Something that, you know, we've been very conservative in the past couple of years, you know, especially last year with Carlo Ball. But, you know, play like what Gray is incorporating into this Everton side is just, you know, it's great to watch. And it's not just him, you know, sprinting for the sake of it and then kicking it back like five meters or something like that. He's actually whipping in crosses. He's getting to the good spots. So, yeah, huge impact on this Everton side. And you know what? Like, honestly, could be one of the steals of the summer. We don't know. I'm not too critical about how we gave up the Leeds goal. You know, it was a very good finish by Raphinha. Although, in the past, I think that Goodison game last year against Leeds, he scored one from pretty much the same spot. I don't know if that was on the scouting report or not. But look, we've got to know better of the class that he possesses. And, you know, when he gets in those dangerous spots, you've got to mark him. Now, I know a lot of Everton fans are very critical of Fabian Delph. We want him out. He's on the books doing absolutely stuff all except getting injured. But, you know, yesterday, I think his leadership presence in the late game was really, really valuable. Because there were a lot of times where he was just, you know, telling players. I think he told Michael Keane in one instance, when the camera was on him, to just slow down, to settle down, relax, and stay calm. Because, yeah, obviously Keane has been very jittery, you know, in the first couple games. So I think a presence like that is really valuable, you know, especially with a feral crowd, you know, at Allen Road. Obviously, there would have been a lot of adrenaline. So every time Leeds fans are, you know, up and about, and, you know, it's getting louder and louder, you know, you start to panic and thoughts are going through your mind at 100 miles per hour. You tend to do some irrational shit. And, you know, Fabian Delph was there to, you know, calm the team down late, which is something that I think we lacked last year. But yeah, that's just a little observation I made. I think generally speaking, our second half was much better than the first. Much more attacking, much more possession. Look, we looked pretty energetic out of the break for at least the first 20 minutes, and then it sort of started to shift a little bit, and we were just really trying to get to the finish line because, in all honesty, I think we were gassed. Generally speaking, I think this was a pretty good performance. Like, I will take this result because Leeds looked like a danger game. And, you know, although we could have won this game, and people will be like, oh, we should have kicked these goals, DCL wasn't good enough. As I mentioned last week, you know, it was good to see the team weren't going back into their shell. Old habits, you know what I'm saying? And we were still looking for late game chances. I think Townsend had one, Coleman had one, Doucouré had one. You know, those shots, they weren't really on. We could have actually gotten a better shot and possibly a chance to, you know, steal the game. But in saying that, last year we wouldn't have even had, you know, those chances. So, look, I'm not really complaining. Let's take one late game chance as an example. Doucouré had the ball, lets off a long range shot, and it comes off, I think, Liam Cooper, the lead centre back, and it nearly ricochets in. So simple stuff like that is, it's giving us an opportunity to win the game instead of just defending the lead and possibly giving it up on the other end if we're clumsy enough, which is, Everton hallmark. So regardless, I'm pretty happy with this result. We move on to next week. I don't remember who we have, but regardless, I will take 4 points from the first 2 games. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed it. Share your comments, your thoughts, in the comment section down below. And if you want to see more sports content, Everton content, Brooklyn Nets content, AFL content, it's all here. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you next time. Peace out.